Hello, my name's Kim Fee and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in the UK. Today I'd like to share with you a card that I made for one of my team members who've promoted within Stampin' Up to silver promotion. And this card was inspired by her love of heat embossing, and her name is Jan Francis. So I don't have a card for you to show you because I've sent it off now and she has received it. So I'll just plough on and show you what I made. You will be able to see the card in the thumbnail of the video, but I think that's basically when you come in before you watch the video. So I'll get started. So this is the stamp set that I chose to use. It's Celebrate Sunflowers. It is a beautiful set and it's quite popular. You'll see lots of cards on Pinterest and Google all about the place using this set, but I love it. And I decided to do a bit of paper piecing-y kind of effect as well as the heat embossing. So I decided to use crumb cake and the new colour Bumblebee and some gold embossing along with some black memento ink. So first of all, here are the measurements. So we use A4 in the UK and I cut the A4 in half lengthways and I cut it at 10.5 centimetres and then I scored on the long side at 14.8 centimetres, and this makes a C6 card. So let's just, while we're here, burnish the crease. Okay, and then my layer that I'm going to be adding everything onto, I've used crumb cake again, and I've cut this at 12 centimetres by 8 centimetres. This measurement is a measurement that I use quite often lately. And then I'm going to mat this onto the Bumblebee, and that I cut just 0.3 centimetres all round. So it's 12.3 and 8.3, and that gives it a tiny little border around. So whatever your measurement, it could be 10 by 5, you would cut your layer 10.3 by 5.3, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to start with doing the card blank itself, and I'm going to be also using a stamp set that I achieved for free from Stampin' Up, which is called Comfort and Hope. So it's got little bits and pieces like a parquet flooring, a piece of thread rumbling round, and I love this bit. We used to have a stamp set that was Halloweeny and it had something like this on it, and I really missed it when it went because it's a good background stamp. So I'm going to ink this up with the Versamark, and then I'm going to heat emboss it. So let's bring the gold embossing powder in. I always tip mine out into big bowls because then there's less mess for you to shake off onto your paper. So I'm just going to randomly stamp just around the edge. So I'm going to ink it up. Oops. And I'm just going to do half of it and then bring in my embossing powder and throw it on there. So because otherwise it'll dry, and it does dry to a tone-on-tone colour, which is nice in itself. But as I say, the inspiration for this is Jan's love for heat embossing, and that's the effect that I wanted to have. Move that back out the way and carefully do the other side. side. Bring back the embossing powder. And just throw it on and tap. Throw it on and tap. Then you'll see I might just add another little bit there, I think. Shall I? Yeah, I think I will. Just a small piece there. So in general, I would use an embossing buddy, which is one of these little puffy things here, to stop the static and the oils of your hand onto the cardstock. But you can see there it's attached itself, and when you heat emboss that with your heat gun, that will show up. But I'm not too fussed about that today because I'm going to cover most of that up. So let's get rid of this. And I'm just going to use the heat gun. So there'll be a bit of noise, so do excuse me, just in case there's new stampers that are coming on to watch the video. It's nice for them to see exactly how we get to where we are and the wow that is embossing powder and heat gun. So in general, we would go over the top. I like to do it from underneath. It gives me a better visual on where the heat has caught the embossing powder and where it hasn't. So you keep it just about probably 5 centimetres away, a couple of inches away from your cardstock. You don't want it to burn. And be careful, because you don't want your fingers to burn either. And you see it just taking, so it's gone from dark to shiny. And I'm just going to retrieve my tweezers to do the other half because I don't want to burn my hand. That's it. So once you see that it's taken, you quickly move along. So that might be better off shown from the top. So once it catches, move along. Don't do this because you're not hair drying your hair. Just hold it over till it catches and then move. Either move your heat tool or move your hand with the item in, and then you'll get a nice effect. Look at that. Fabulous. So let's just get that from there. So that's that part done. I'm trying to remember how I did it. Yeah. Okay. So now I just want to take the leaf, this one here, and I'm going to randomly stamp and emboss again. So I'll bring back the embossing powder. And I'm just going to come off the page. There we go. I think that's enough. Bring back that. Just throw it over. tap it back into your box. Just want to make sure, getting rid of all those bits. That I didn't want there, because once again I didn't use the embossing buddy when I should have. Be covered in embossing powder. So once again, a little bit of noise. I'm just going to go underneath because it does curl a little bit, which is why I like to use glue or double-sided tape when I'm adhering things. But if you do it from behind, you get less buckle the wrong way, so to speak. There you go. Look, you can see how it's catching. And when it does catch, it catches quite quickly. So what you do need to move on to the next bit, because you can burn the embossing powder so that it just goes flat and dull, and that's not the point of the heat embossing. Perfect. Okay. So that is going to go on there. At this point, I'm going to just take a circle punch, any size circle will do, and I'm just going to come in halfway here because I'm going to put some linen thread round, and I want it to look, just give it a little bit of more dimension. See, I'm going to come back with the heat gun because I don't like how it's not come up properly. It's a little bit better. That's it. Okay, so I'm just going to put that to the side now. Now I want to make my sunflower, so I stamped a couple of the inserts on the New In Colour Packs paper. So I did these earlier. So we've got some lovely New In colours. You've got Just Jade, Bumblebee, Magenta Madness, Cinnamon Cider and Misty Moonlight. So I decided to use the one that's spotty but not spotty. So I haven't got my In Colour ink pads yet. I'm waiting for them to come. They should be here tomorrow. But I like to do a little bit of paper piecing and fussy cutting, so I decided to stamp onto the coloured paper rather than colour it with inks. So just going to press that down. And I want to make sure with the Memento ink that I'm really, really inking it up well. So you can see it glisten. Make sure that you've got right in the middle as well. You don't want to miss any bits. I was going to use the Stamparatus, but just really for quickness. And I'm a stand-up stamper, so I'm sitting down at the minute. So I'm not sure how this is going to go. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay, so now I'll take one of these. So I stamped it again, but you can match it up there just to save time. So I was going to make some more similar cards. So I'm just going to fussy cut this now. There is a die. I could use a die, but I prefer to use the scissors so that I don't make the table shake. So you don't necessarily have to buy the dies. If you don't have a die cutting machine, you can, if you like, fussy cutting round it. So that's it. So when you're cutting these, I always leave a small border around. I don't know why, I just do. And I try my best to just move the paper rather than the scissors, as you can see there. But sometimes you just need to move the scissors. But it is quicker, I think, if you just keep twisting the paper around what you're cutting. It's quite a pretty sunflower. And I've made a couple of cards, so I'll do some more videos using this. The next video is one where I use the jar of love that's got the sunflowers in, and I've used Stampin' Blends to colour those. Which that was another silver promotion card that I made to go with a gift, to thank them for their hard work. Put that in the bin. And then with this bit, I just went straight in and I just went around the curly bit. You can just about see where the lines are. Okay, so I'm going to get my pad from the Stamparatus, because I just want to curl this bit up so I can use an embossing ball, which I don't have with me. Do I have one on the end there? No. So I'm just going to use me. Don't go too hard because it is only paper. I'm just going to curl it. I can use the back of that just to go round. Go, just so that it goes into like a little circly ball. Try not to press too hard like I've just done there. Right, let's have a look for some dimensionals. And to use the end bits there. Okay, and I like to scrunch up my flowers because I think it gives them, they look a little bit more lifelike, if you please. Just squish them in so they're not totally flat, so it gives it a little bit of dimension, a little bit of texture. Take off these. Tweezers. So you can just match up this little pokey bit here with that pokey bit there, and then just press it in a little bit so it gives it a little bit more of a dollop effect, I suppose is what you would call it. So that would go on there. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my trusted linen thread, which I love. And I want to make a double bow, so I'm just going to wrap it round. Snip it off. Oh, it's all curly. I'll get them in the end. So I've got 2 pieces. It looked like 3 there where it's frayed, but I quite like that. Oh. And I'm just going to pull those 2 together. And I'm going to tie them in the knot. I'm having a little bit of problem with my bows and knots at the moment because I don't normally have nails, but since we've had all this coronavirus thing, I've learned to have nails, and I'm not doing very well with them, I have to say. I don't know how people craft with nails. They're very clever to do that. So my bows are not looking the prettiest things. No, I don't like that. Let's get rid of that. Do it again. Can use that on something else. I told you, I'm not very good with my nails. And they're not even the longest they've been these last couple of months. There you go. Okay, so I think I was going to get a bit of tear and tape, but I don't have any with me at the minute. And I would have stuck that to the back just to sort of hold it into place to help me a little bit. Whilst I do these bows. And I used to be able to make bows like coming out of my ears, but not at the moment. And I could run this linen thread through some wet wipes to take away the curl. But I like the curly. I think it gives it a nice effect. That's it. Let's take my big scissors. There you go. So that I'm now going to glue down there with my trusted Tombow. You don't need too much. using the Tombow because it gives me a little bit more wiggle room. Now I'm going to put some dimensionals on here. Just to lift it a little bit. So you want the gold leaves to pop through. We're going to, wow, look at that. Wow, wow, wow. Let's have a look now. So I want some more dimensionals. I've only got the little tiddlies left. They'll have to do. So I'll have to go around the back there. I want to layer that up. So yes, it's going to be a large letter to post in the UK, but do you know what? It's a bit of a wow card, I think, and I think it's well worth that extra little bit. It's not too much. That extra little bit of postal costs just to make your friends smile. Or in my case, my team member. I do like to spoil them. You can see what I've spoilt them with if you just go onto my blog, which is www.simplyfairies.co.uk, if you would like to see the gift that I bought for her. Just make sure you've got your card opening the right way. You don't want to be... That's it. Now we just want a little bit of bumblebee, and we're going to ink up the Let's Celebrate You. Ooh. Where is it? Here it is. Looking at the wrong one. Okay, I'm just going to line that up on my grid paper. Excuse my messy block. I'm going to use that with the memento. Oh, that wasn't very good lining up. I've noticed with this bumblebee, it's this cardstock, it's quite porous. So just make sure you've got lots and lots and lots of ink on your stamp. But it may not come out as deep colour as you want it. Lovely. So now I'm not worried that it's all crooked. If I was, I'd put it on my Stampratus and that. But I'm just going to now fussy cut and this lovely font. Again, leaving a small border. And then we're more or less nearly done. pretty that font is. I do love the scripty fonts with the typewriter fonts. That's it. So now I'm going to put that on there. So whilst that's already up in the air, I'm going to glue this little bit, but put some dimensionals on the end. Just some little tiddlies. I might have to trim those, which I should be doing with my paper snips, but I can use the sticky stuff remover. There's some little tiddlies that I cut off before. It would have helped, wouldn't it, to take the backing off of that first. Let's do it that way instead. Oh, it's very fiddly. Oh, put it off. That would teach me to pull it off in the first place, really. That's it. That's it. Then a little bit of glue here. Then just over there. And my sticky fixers, I don't want to stick. Because I didn't pull off the thing. That's it. That's it. So we're nearly done. I just want to do a little bit of Stella. I just want to do some splashing. Nope, I've used all that one up. Let's do this one. Just to give it a little bit more glitz, because Jan does like a bit of Stella like me. And then, I think, what did I do? I did use some crystals. And some little in colour enamel dots, which I had on the table when I started. ever done that? You've got yourself all ready. You put all your bits and pieces on there. You know you haven't been anywhere. And they disappear. Oh no. And they're quite pretty too. Oh well. This one will have to wait for the enamel dots. I'll just put the crystals on there. No, I don't really like those on there. What to do, what to do? Right, it's mind-boggling when you put something there on the table and then they're not there again. Let's look over here. Sorry about this, people. They're definitely gone. Ah, let's use these. These are new ones as well. These are the elegant faceted. So these are a little bit, yeah. So take this back off. That's really going to bug me now, I suppose. When I finish the video, I'll find them for sure. But in the meantime, let's use these nice little things. Still adds a little bit of glitz to them. Oh well. Sneaky little things. I still wonder where they are. Okay, so let's tidy this bit up. And that's it. There's the card. How pretty is that? Can you see the glitzy glittering? Yeah, I love it. I did decorate inside. I just did some bumblebee layer and then some very vanilla. And then I used the jar of love where the little sunflowers are on there. But yeah, there you go. So I'll leave in the description below links to all the products that I've used today. If you would like to purchase some of the bits that I've used today, I would love to have your custom. And you can find me in the links below. There will be a link straight to my shop, and there are links to my blog, so you can see further bits and pieces and some nice close-up photos of this project. But other than that, thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and give me a thumbs up if you have, and let me know if you haven't, and if there's any other things that you would like me to show you how to make, just give me a shout and I'll see what I can do. Thank you very much for joining me. Bye.